Okay, welcome back to another episode of Monday Nitro. This is the last one of the month, WCW 2001, in the month of January. So, little recap. We had Sin a couple of weeks ago. We've had a few TV shows since then. We've had a few Nitros, Thunders. Saturday night's been dropped, unfortunately. And we've got a few feuds going, which are going to be continued in this show, barring Chavo Guerrero, Billy Kidman, and Booker T and Canyon, because you don't want to force feed a feud too much to the fans, because the fans will start resenting them then. So this is our last Nitro show of the month. We're going to kick off things by having 3 Count 2, which is Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous, over the Young Dragons. In a cruiserweight tag match opener. They always put on a good match. That's a good way to start a show. We've got an interview with Sting next, and if you remember, if you saw the last video, Thunder, Sting was attacked backstage. He was ambushed by Ric Flair and his son David Flair, which is going to result tonight in a handicap match, which Sting is going to win cleanly. He's going to pin David Flair for the 3 count, and I'm hoping that will go down quite well. I'm hoping Sting doesn't gain, because Ric Flair's not actually losing cleanly to Sting, and I'm just hoping David Flair doesn't bring it down. But I thought it'd be a good way to keep the storyline going, bring Flair's son into it. So that's that. And funnily enough, I was looking through the roster and seeing how many times I'd used each guy in each of the segments so far this month. And there was one guy who hadn't had a match since I took over WCW, and that guy is Brian Knobbs. So this is Brian Knobbs' first match under me, a 3-way hardcore match, and he's going to lose to Major Stash, who's debuting a new gimmick. His last one didn't go down too well. I don't have big plans for him anyway. The other guy being Meng as well, who's not featured too much. Not expecting it to go down overly well. Then there's a manager angle involving Jones, Miss Jones and the Cat. So for Cat, pretty much every time he's appeared, he's been beaten down by Jeff Jarrett. He's been mocked by Jeff Jarrett, and Jeff Jarrett definitely has the upper hand in this feud, and he also has the US title. So his for Cat's manager, Miss Jones, I've not used an angle like this before, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes down. This is basically an angle where she's trying to motivate for Cat up for his match tonight against Dusty Rhodes, which he's going to win cleanly over. So hopefully that will help for Cat. But obviously, it's going to continue his feud with Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, after the Cat has won cleanly, is going to come in and beat him up again. So that'll set things up nicely for the next episode of Thursday Thunder. We're going to have Rey Mysterio retaining his TV title over Terry Funk in a clean match. Totally Buff Bagwell, Lex Luger are going to continue their war of words with Nash and DDP. They've got a feud going on at the minute. Then we're going to have O'Hare and Palumbo, which I was surprised actually how much I've actually used them. I've used them as much as some of the bigger stars in the company, so I've really pushed them this month. And so far it's gone down pretty well. They're going to retain the tag titles against the Mamalukes, Big Vito and Johnny the Bull. We're going to have an interview with Rick Steiner. He's continuing his war of words with Dusty Rhodes. Then the Cat's going to beat Dusty Rhodes. Interview with Scott Steiner, mocking Goldberg. Again, that feud's going to come to an end soon. And then for main event, which I have spoken about. So let's kick things off. 71%. Good start to the show. Happy with that. And a rare run out for Evan Courageous. Sting lost overness from this segment. Didn't go down too well actually, which is the first time for him. Maybe I'm overusing him. That did worse than I thought. The fans were confused by the gimmick change of Major Stash so soon after his last one. Well, the reason was because fans didn't receive it very well. That's why. But anyway, didn't go down well. That segment with Miss Jones and the cat didn't go down very well either. We need something to salvage it now. Rey Mysterio, Terry Funk, not a bad score there. Totally Buff, 73%. We need something up in the 80s. Here we go. This is the best segment of the show so far. O'Hare and Palumbo beat for Mamalukes, 77%. Pleased with that. Rick Steiner, decent rating. Dusty Rhodes and the cat. The cat gained overness. That's what we wanted. But the actual match didn't go down very well. I guess there was no build up to it, but I didn't think it needed much of a build up. Dusty Rhodes, didn't go down well. Match quality not good. Scott Steiner backstage, that went down well. Best segment of the show so far. And lastly, Sting, Rick and David. No one lost overness from this, 76%. It could have been a lot better, so keep the message here is to keep David Flair out of things in future. I just thought adding Ric Flair's son into the equation, it could have spiced up the feud a bit. 65%, that's arguably for worst show of the month. So I've got a few things to think about and a few things to review for the next month, which is February, leading up to Super Brawl Revenge pay-per-view. I mean, that hardcore match was terrible. I think I'm going to have a hardcore match in future. It's got to be between the champion, not just for cannon fodder like this. That's not gone down well at all. Okay. We got 5.26 for Nitro. Booker T. Again, he's asking to work with Chris Kanyon. You're in a feud with him, mate. I left you off for one show and you're at it again. Right, okay. What's happening 1st of February? Kanyon, Conan, Crowbar and Miss Jones have got their birthdays this month. That's how much we made off merchandise. Roddy Piper will retire. Well, he's not with us anymore. It doesn't matter. Brad Arms, yeah, that doesn't really... 0-1 have announced this year's... Yeah, don't really need to know that. So, didn't go down too well the show. We've got Thursday Thunder for the first day in February. We've got our feuds here, Ric Flair and Sting. Nice evenly back. Yeah, okay. So these two, a lot of these feuds are actually close to being concluded, which is good because you don't want a feud to go on for too long. So let's... I'll do another video reviewing for last month rather than trying to fit it into another minute because I'm trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes. So that was our Thursday Thunder. Sorry, Monday Nitro show. Didn't go down that well, but it wasn't terrible. So I'll get my thinking cap on and I'll be back for another video very soon.